All right, so this is round two. We have two 2013 Mustangs. One is the Shelby, which you saw in the other video. The second one we won kind of accidentally because I'm a wholesale dealer, and so putting bids in at these insurance auctions, you can only bid, but you can't retract. So we bid on them at the same time, but they went on auctions like 3 months apart. So this one went up for bid. We won it for a song and a dance. This is the ROUSH Stage 3 model. So today we're going to be putting also the rally stripe right down the middle like we did on the Shelby. Here's a picture of it. You can see it's got a good canvas to work with. Had a little damage which will get fixed from the body shop. Actually, the shipper did this to the door. He completely backed it into the post of his trailer. Super stupid. So, and then as you can see back here, we've got to wrap the stripe all the way down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and tackle that and get that done and get to work. All right, so we've got everything laid out here on the car, just like we did on the Shelby. So this is the ROUSH. These are actually a longer decal here, so what we can do is kind of work it a little bit better. So if you do have a mistake, we have a little bit more working room. So we do have the master, my wife April, and she's going to use her sweet skills as she has before. Alright, so basically we have quite a few little rock chips here, so I marked them with a Sharpie, because what the stripe's going to do is cover this, but rule of thumb, anytime you're doing any kind of decal or any kind of body work, if you can feel it, you will see it. So there are some imperfections and some ripples here from whatever this was before, but they're kind of like, they almost look like they're evenly spaced out, almost like something hit them or scratched it. So all of these pieces here, including the two holes that are pre-drilled for the bumper, on the bumper for the license plate, we got to fill those too, otherwise they'll show through and it looks really sloppy. So in order to have a nice clean job, you got to prep it. So what we do, like we did on the prior car, was 600 grit on a sanding block, and you sign in a crisscross pattern. After we prep the surface, then we're going to get the glazing putty. Can you hand that over to me really quick? So it's just this glazing putty. It's through Bondo, the company that makes it. You just mix it up, put it on there, and then after you smooth it out with your putty knife or whatever you use, you let it dry and hit it with a little heat gun. About 15 minutes, 20 minutes at max, it's ready to sand. So what we're going to do is we're going to prep this surface. As you see, we've already measured our middle part here. This is the middle. This is the width of the middle stripe. So what we're going to do is make sure all of the imperfections in between this are all going to be fixed. Anything that's out of that we can't, because this is like a pink color and it would look silly if we decided to ruin the finish of it. So we're going to go ahead and prep this surface and get to it so we can start wrapping the hood, and then also we'll finish up with the bumper.
All right, so we're getting ready to put our stripes on, and we want to hold them still on the car. So on most cars, you can hold them down with a magnet, where the magnet sticks to the metal, but this has an aluminum hood, so it's not gonna work. So in order to hold it still, we marked center, we marked the edges of where our stripe goes, but we wanna make sure we hold it still while we get started on the work. So in lieu of magnets, we found this handy dandy little weighted shoulder therapy thing. So we're just gonna use that to hold it down in the middle so that we can make sure it stays where we want it to stay. While we're getting it prepped at the top, and make sure that it's staying straight as we move it down toward the front of the hood. All right, doing this front end was a little bit difficult, and we had to basically cut these stripes apart. So we had to cut the little ones off to install them all separately because of all the angles here. It was not allowing them to go on when they were spaced on the backing paper. On this piece here, we actually had to cut it in 2 pieces because it curves in so many directions. We laid the bottom part first, and then we laid this top section over it because there's a little bigger of an overlap here than there is here, which eliminates any wrinkles. And then we did the same thing with these 2 pieces here. This one was actually really challenging, this little piece here, because it's so small and there's so many, you know, relatively steep curves here. Also had to separate these and do them separately. We marked them with a little 1-inch masking tape to make sure that they were spaced evenly, because if you just put them on straight, you will end up with a gap that's not even. So this took a lot of work. This front end was very difficult, but I think it turned out amazing.
Alright, so as you see here, we've already got these pre-cut for the top of the deck lid and then also the top of the spoiler. So I pre-cut these, and then after we get these applied, then we'll measure up and then we'll do the second part of the bumper here and then the third part down here below. So what we're going to do is go ahead and start that. I'll go ahead and start with this one. That way I can line this up because we've already got our marks marked here from when we measured prior from the markers. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, get that wet, apply that, get it all squeegeed on there. And fortunately the trunks are a lot easier. Like literally it can be a complete bear. Like the front took us a lot of time and there was a lot of strategy, a lot of really heat. The heat gun is your best friend with this, because if you don't use your heat gun, you're going to wind up with wrinkles and all kinds of things. So here we are, second half, let's do it. Alright guys, it's the next day. We finally finished everything up. Hope you enjoyed watching the process of how it works. It's definitely a lot of work to put the striping on those things because it's spaced apart already in the kits they give you. The problem with that kit is that the curvature of the car actually makes the spacing not seem to be where it needs to be. So what we actually did is we actually snipped it in half, and then basically we laid one down after we measured where it wanted to be, and then to make sure the right width was there. Well, it was actually the exact width that we needed. So we did that on the roof. That was usually the most challenging one. And then on the hood, that one actually gave us some issues. The kit didn't come perfect. It did have some wrinkles in it, so we did have to try to use the heat gun to our advantage and try to really get those wrinkles out. Came out pretty good. I guess the tip is just be patient with it. It was a lot of fun building, doing that project. It's our second car that we did. We'll probably wrap the Jeep next, but that's gonna be quite a process because we've never wrapped before. And well, we're not professionals by any means in that category. So anyways, keep your eyes out for the next video coming. We should have, well, if we get the Jeep wrapped, or probably upload this one and then a couple other ones as well. So thanks for subscribing. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and we'll keep bringing in good content and make it more regular. So until next time, we'll see you later.